Hi friends, welcome to Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulic Machines Laboratory. Today we are going to perform determination of major losses in flow-through pipes. Here we have an experimental setup of 1-inch stainless steel pipe, half-inch stainless steel pipe and 1-inch brass pipe. So I'll just show the experimental setup. So this is 1-inch stainless steel pipe, this is 1-inch brass pipe and the other one is half-inch stainless steel pipe. So we are going to analyze the friction factor in these pipes. That is, we are going to calculate major losses occurring when the water travels a distance of length L from this end to the other end. So we have to make a note of the length from that end to this end. So that gives capital L. So using that value we are going to calculate friction factor. Major losses test setup involves the valves at two different points. So these are the 2 points at which we are taking the length of the pipe for the consideration of major losses. So we have to measure the head at that particular point and the end of the pipe also requires to be measured for the head. So to measure the head we need a manometer. So this is the setup for manometer. So the initial point will have manometer reading in the left side and the end point of the pipe will be having manometer reading in the right side. The manometer setup has left limb and right limb. Before we start the experiment, the mercury reading in the left limb and the right limb is at 0. And when the experiment is started with some discharge in the pipe, there will be a difference in the mercury reading in the left limb and mercury reading in the right limb. So we have to measure the difference in mercury reading in the left limb and the right limb, and the difference will provide us the total head value. The total head HF is calculated by H1 minus H2, that is H1 is nothing but head value in the left limb, H2 is nothing but head value in the right limb. In the experimental setup we are measuring in terms of mercury, but for the calculation purpose we want to have the total head value in terms of water. So if we multiply this by 12.6 meters of water, the total head value will be converted into value in terms of water. So basically we have to utilize total head value HF in terms of water for further calculation purpose. Before we start the experiment, we have to make sure there are no air bubbles inside the manometer. For that we have to make sure that the valves of the pipe are open. So once the valves of the pipe are open, we have to operate the input valve of water and allow the water to flow through the pipe. Once the water is flowing through the pipe, we have to open the valves of the manometer, and this in turn makes the air bubbles to go outside these pipes. So our basic work of removing the air bubbles is done. So we have to operate these valves and make sure that there are no air bubbles inside this pipe. So now we can see there are no air bubbles in this pipe. Okay, so once the air bubbles is removed, we have to again lock the valves of this manometer. Once the air bubbles are removed from this manometer, so we can start conducting experiment for the consideration of this 1-inch stainless steel pipe. Now let us see that what is the dia of 1-inch stainless steel pipe. So there are specifications which is being given in this experimental setup. So the diameter of 1-inch stainless steel pipe is 28 mm. So the other details are also being given for 1/2-inch stainless steel pipe and 1-inch brass pipe. And pressure tapping distance, which is capital L, is given, which is 1500 mm, that is 1.5 meters. So the length of pressure tapping distance is 1.5 meters. So let us start with 1-inch stainless steel pipe, that is we have to allow flow of water through this valve. So we shall start with low discharge of water through 1-inch stainless steel pipe. For measuring the pressure head between the two location, we have to open the valves of the manometer. So this will provide a head difference in the U-tube manometer in the left limb as well as right limb. So here we can see a reading of 1.5 in the left limb and 1.4 in the right limb. So this can be noted as first reading for low discharge. So we are conducting first reading for 1-inch stainless steel pipe. So we got to know that the left limb reading, it gave 1.5 centimeter in the left limb and 1.4 centimeter in the right limb, that is H1 and H2. So this is an equivalent of mercury. We have a collecting tank which is required to measure the actual discharge. So how to calculate the actual discharge? We can calculate the actual discharge by Q is equal to A into R by T. So we have to measure time required for 10 centimeter rise in water level in this particular tank, and we have to utilize a stopwatch. We have to make sure that outlet pipe of this tank is closed. We have to close the outlet pipe of this tank. So now the water starts filling into the tank. So once the water starts filling into the tank, the water level in this scale slowly rises. But we have to wait until the water level in this scale reaches a very stable increase. Now we can see the water is rising in this scale very gradually. So let us start the stopwatch when the water level in this scale reaches 20, and let us stop when the water level in this scale reaches 30. That means we will be measuring a time required for 10 centimeter rise in the measuring tank. So the stopwatch has been started exactly at 20. So the water level has reached 30. Stop. So the time required for 10 centimeter rise in water level in this tank for low discharge is measured up to 40 seconds. So let us make a note of the reading. So the time required for 10 centimeter rise in water level in the measuring tank was 40 seconds. Okay. The rise in water level in the collecting tank was 10 centimeters. Okay. The area of collecting tank we have considered is 0.25 meter square. So the formula required to calculate discharge is, this is actual discharge, Q actual. So Q actual can be calculated by A into R by T. We have already taken the readings for low discharge. Now let us continue with medium and high discharges. The same procedure is repeated for medium and high discharge of water through 1-inch stainless steel pipe by operating the input valve to allow the water to flow through it. Time required for 10 centimeter rise in water level in the collecting tank and the pressure heads at left limb and right limb in the manometer is recorded for medium and high discharges respectively. Now let us conduct the same experiment for 1-inch brass pipe. Before that we have to again open the inlet valve of the brass pipe, and again we have to open the pressure valves of the brass pipe. So since the pressure valves are open now, we can turn on the water valve. Again, for the first reading we shall have a low discharge. So this is the second pipe of the water flowing through 1-inch brass pipe. We are conducting now the experiment for low discharge. Now let us see what is the manometer reading in the left limb and the right limb. In the left limb, the manometer reading is somewhere up to 0.5. The right limb, the manometer reading is again up to 0.5. We have made a note of manometer reading in the left limb as 0.5 centimeter and the right limb as 0.5 centimeter for lower discharge of water through a 1-inch brass pipe. Now let us measure the 10 centimeter rise in water level of the collecting tank. Again we have to make sure the outlet of the valve should be closed, and let us measure 10 centimeter rise in water level from 20 centimeter to 30 centimeter, because at this level the water fluctuation will become less and the rise in water level in this particular scale will be gradual. So we have started recording of time for 10 centimeter rise in water level of collecting tank from 20 centimeter up to 30 centimeter. So up to 30 centimeter the reading has come up to 3 minutes and 3 seconds. So let us note the time required for filling 10 centimeter of the collecting tank as 183 seconds, because it was 3 minutes and 3 seconds. For the measurement of low discharge of water through 1-inch brass pipe. The same procedure is repeated for medium and high discharge of water through 1-inch brass pipe. The corresponding time are required for 10 centimeter rise in the collecting tank and the head values in left limb and right limb are recorded respectively for medium and high discharge of water through 1-inch brass pipe. Now let us perform the experiment for the last pipe, that is half-inch stainless steel pipe. We shall open the main inlet valve of the half-inch stainless steel pipe and also the pressure valves of the half-inch stainless steel pipe. So once the pressure valves are open, we can open the water valve for a low discharge of water passing through the third pipe, that is half-inch stainless steel pipe. Now let us see what is the manometer reading for the low discharge in the half-inch stainless steel pipe. So in the left limb the reading comes up to 0.4, the right limb the reading comes up to 0.4. Let's make a note of the first measurement for low discharge. In the left limb it was recorded as 0.4 centimeter, in the right limb again it was recorded as 0.4 centimeter. For low discharge, that is first set of readings, we shall see what is the time required for filling of the tank from 20 centimeter to 30 centimeter in this scale, which amounts up to 10 centimeter rise in the collecting tank. We will start the stopwatch from 20 centimeter and let us see. So up to 30 centimeter the time has come up to 1 minute 22 seconds. Time required for low discharge through half-inch stainless steel pipe was measured up to 1 minute 22 seconds, that is 82 seconds for 10 centimeter rise of water level in the collecting tank. Now let us continue for medium and high discharges through the half-inch stainless steel pipe and let us measure the further readings. In the video demonstration, you have witnessed the experimental procedure for low discharge with respect to 1-inch stainless steel pipe, 1-inch brass pipe and half-inch stainless steel pipe. Certainly, we have continued and carried out the same experiment for medium discharges, high discharges for all the three respectively. So these are the respective manometer readings in the left limb as well as the right limb. So we have also recorded the time required for 10 centimeter rise in water level in the collecting tank. The T which is recorded here is required for the calculation of Q actual. The Q actual is required to calculate velocity of water through the respective pipe. Now, why all these terms are required? Basically, the objective of our experiment is to calculate the friction factor. Now, let us see how to calculate friction factor. How does friction factor help? Friction factor helps us to analyze the major losses in these respective pipes. So basically, friction factor can be calculated by using the formula F is equal to 2GD HF divided by 4L V square. Now here G is nothing but acceleration due to gravity which is 9.8 meter per second square. D is nothing but diameter of pipe. So here 1 inch stainless steel pipe diameter is 28 mm. 1 inch brass pipe diameter is 26 mm. Half inch stainless steel pipe diameter is 17.5 mm. Now what is HF? HF is nothing but total head in the pipe, which is given by H1 minus H2 or H1 difference H2. This is to be calculated by the readings. So L is nothing but length of the pipe. So this is already, we know that it is equal to 1.5 meters. E is velocity of water in the pipe. So it is given as Q actual divided by A. How to calculate Q actual? Q actual is equal to A into R by T. Since Q actual is calculated with respect to the collecting tank, here A is area of collecting tank. So area of collecting tank is known to be 0.25 meter square. So R is 10 centimeter rise in water level. T is determined with respect to the time required for 10 centimeter rise of water in the collecting tank. So once we calculate Q actual, we can substitute here and we can calculate the velocity of water in the pipe. Now what is A? A is nothing but pi by 4 into D square, where D is dia of the pipe. So we can calculate V. We know the value of L. We can also calculate HF. We know the value of dia. We know the value of G. If we substitute it in this formula, we can calculate friction factor for all the pipes. Now friction factor, it depends upon these parameters. It depends upon the dia of the pipe, it depends upon the total head in the pipe, it also depends upon the length of the pipe, it also depends upon the velocity of water flowing through the pipe. Now friction factor helps us to understand the major losses in these respective pipes better. It's like an index to understand how these pipes behave with respect to the friction and how major losses occur with respect to the pipes. We are aware that HF, which is nothing but total head, is equal to H1 minus H2 with respect to mercury. Basically denotes the difference between head in the manometer. Let us draw a small diagram of scale with respect to left limb and the right limb in the manometer. So it was somewhere around like this, where the middle graduation was showing 0. So we can take it as 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. So this is with respect to right limb. So left limb also contained the same 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Now since the middle graduation is 0, whatever is measured up in the upper direction is considered positive, and whatever measured in the downward direction is considered negative. Let us consider first reading of this observation where it is been given as h1 as for 0.4 centimeter and h2 as 0.4 centimeter. If I substitute it directly over here, it will become 0.4 minus 0.4 and it will become equal to 0. But hf cannot be 0, because if I substitute hf is equal to 0, friction factor will be equal to 0. So it cannot happen like that practically. So basically, if it is 0.4 means, so you have already witnessed in the experimental observation that this was the 0.4 reading in the left limb and this was 0.4 reading in the right limb. So which means hf is equal to h1 minus h2 means the h1 reading, if it was 0.4 in the upward direction, it was positive. Minus means since in the right limb it is being measured in downward direction, it should be taken as minus 0.4. So it will become 0.4 plus 0.4. So hf will be equal to 0.8 centimeter. In that way, all these readings can be taken as negative. Minus 0.4, minus 0.7, minus 1.3, minus 1.4, minus 1.1, minus 3.7, minus 0.5, minus 0.6 and minus 0.8. So I can write it as 0.8, 1.4, 2.5, 2.9, 3.1, 7.1, 1.0, 1.2 and 1.6. Since we are considering right limb readings as negative, so I need to calculate all these terms with respect to water. So with respect to water, it can be calculated if and only if it is multiplied by 12.6. Since the readings is measured with respect to mercury in the experimental setup, for the purpose of calculation, the total head HF should be utilized in terms of water for the further calculation. So let us calculate HF in terms of water for all these readings. It is in centimeter, converting it into meter, that is 0.8 into 0.01 into 12.6. So it is coming around 0.1008. So similarly 1.4 into 0.01 into 12.6. So it is coming 0.1764. 0.2016. So we have calculated total head with respect to water for all the observations. So basically we have to calculating friction factor for all the pipes respectively one by one. So guys, let us start with friction factor calculation for half-inch stainless steel pipe. So let us consider half-inch stainless steel pipe. So for half-inch stainless steel pipe, the diameter in the experimental setup is measured to be 17.5 mm. So let us calculate area of the pipe. So this is small d. Small a is equal to area of the pipe. So it is calculated by pi by 4 into d square. So let us convert 17.5 into meters and then square it. So I'm getting around 2.405 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter square. So this d, which is 17.5 mm, can also be written as 17.5 into 0.001 or 0.0175 meters. So friction factor is calculated by F is equal to So for the first reading we have HF in terms of water as 0.1008. So for this we have got T is equal to 82 seconds. So for this value we are supposed to calculate Q actual. So Q actual is equal to A into R by T. So area of the collecting tank we know to be 0.25 meter square. So 0.25 into, so R we have considered as 10 centimeter rise in the collecting tank. So 10 centimeter into 0.01 is nothing but 0.1 meter. I am substituting over here, divided by 82 seconds. So Q actual for first reading will be 0.25 into 0.1 divided by 82. So this is coming somewhere around 3.048 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per second. So I have calculated Q actual. Using this Q actual I can calculate V. V is equal to Q actual by small a. So Q actual is 3.048 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Small a is 2.405 into 10 to the power of minus 4. This both will get cancelled. Let us calculate V. 3.048 divided by 2.405. So V is 1.267 for first reading. 1.267 meter per second for first reading. So we know the length of the pipe is equal to 1.5 meters. So we can calculate friction factor here directly. 2 into G is 9.81, diameter is 0.0175 meters, HF is 0.1008 meters, whole thing divided by 4 into length is 1.5 meters and velocity is 1.267 whole square. So if we solve it, we will be getting the value for friction factor. Let us solve it. 2 into 9.81 into 0.0175 into 0.1008 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into 1.267 square. So friction factor is coming somewhere around 3.59 into 10 to the power of minus 3 or 0.00359. Somewhere it is equal to 0.0036. So this is the value of friction factor for first reading in half-inch stainless steel pipe. So let us go for calculation of second reading where HF is equal to 0.1764. For this T is measured to be 69 seconds. So Q actual can be calculated as AR by T is equal to 0.25 into 0.1 divided by 69 is equal to 0.25 into 0.1 divided by 69. So this is coming somewhere around 3.623 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube per second. So V can be calculated by Q actual by small a. Q actual is 3.623 into 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by area is same. Area of pipe doesn't change. So 2.405 into the power of minus 4. This both will get cancelled. So V will be 3.623 divided by 2.405. So this is 1.5064 meter per second. So for this second reading we can calculate F is equal to 2 into 9.81 into 0.00359 0.0175 because it is diameter of the pipe which doesn't change. So HF is 0.1764 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into 1.5064 whole square. This 1.5064 is velocity of the flow of water in the pipe. So let us calculate it. 2 into 9.81 into 0.0175 into 0.1764 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into 1.5064 square. So this is 4.448 into 10 power minus 3. This is nothing but 0.00445. So this is the friction factor for second reading. So let us calculate the same for third set of reading, where HF is 0.315, T is 57 seconds. So let us quickly calculate by using the calculator without jotting it down over here. So Q actually is nothing but 0.25 into 0.1 whole thing divided by 57 seconds. So this is 4.385 is nothing but the Q actual value. So if I divide 4.385 by 2.405, I'll get the velocity value as 1.823 meter per second. So I can directly calculate friction factor, that is 2 into 9.81 into diameter is 0.0175 meters into HF is 0.315 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into velocity square, that is 1.823 square. So here I am getting 5.42 into 10 power minus 3 or 0.00542. So if you just have a look at it, friction factor is 0.0036 for first reading, 0.00445 for second reading, 0.00542 for third reading. Now let's move on to calculate friction factor for second pipe, that is 1 inch stainless steel pipe. So the diameter of the pipe in the experimental setup was noted to be 28 mm, and A being area of the pipe is calculated as pi by 4 into 28 into 0.001. I'm converting it into meters, that is 6.157 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter square. So I will also convert this 28 mm into meters. This is 0.028 meters. We know the length of the pipe L equal to 1.5 meters, and we are considering G as 9.8 meter per second square. Now to calculate friction factor, we know that formula F is equal to 2GD HF divided by 4L V square. Now for first set of readings, HF is noted to be 0.3654, where time T is equal to 40 seconds for 10 centimeter rise in water level, which is nothing but 0.1 meters. So I can calculate area of collecting tank as 0.25 meter square, where actually is calculated with respect to the collecting tank with the formula A into R by T. So let us calculate Q actual. 0.25 into 0.1 divided by 40, where Q actually is coming up to 6.25 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per second. So let us calculate velocity of flow. V is equal to Q actual by A. Here Q actual is 6.25 into 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by 6.157 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So these both will get cancelled and V will be equal to 6.25 divided by 6.157. So V is found to be 1.015 meter per second for first set of readings. So friction factor can be calculated by 2 into 9.81 into diameter is 0.028 meters. HF is recorded to be 0.3654 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into velocity square. Velocity is 1.015. So I'm squaring it. So friction factor is coming up to 0.0324 for first reading for 1 inch stainless steel pipe. So let us check for second reading, where HF is recorded to be 0.3906 and time required for 10 cm rise in water level is recorded to be 32 seconds. Now let us calculate Q actual directly. Q actual is nothing but A into R by T. A is 0.25, R is 0.1 divided by 32, 7.8125 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So V is nothing but 7.8125 divided by 6.157. Divided by 6.157. So V is coming around 1.268. So let us calculate friction factor here. 2 into 9.81 into 0.028 is the diameter. HF is 0.3906 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into velocity is 1.268 square of it. So I'm getting friction factor as 0.022. Okay, let us calculate friction factor for third set of reading, where HF is equal to 0.8946 with time t taken for 10 cm rise in water level is 21 seconds. So Q actual is A into R by T, 0.25 into 0.1 divided by 21. So it is coming up to 1.19 into 10 to the power of minus 3 or 11.9 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per second, where V can be calculated as 11.9 into 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by 6.157 into 10 to the power of minus 4, where V comes up to 11.9 divided by 6.157 with 1.932 as velocity, 1.92 meter per second for third set of reading. So let us calculate friction factor. 2 into 9.81 into diameter is 0.2028. HF is 0.8946 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into velocity square. Velocity is 1.932, so I have to square it. So I am getting factor as 0.0219 for the third set of readings. Let's move on to third pipe that we are considering in our observations, that is 1 inch brass pipe. We are aware that the diameter of this pipe is 26 mm, that is 0.026 meters. So the area of the pipe A is equal to pi by 4 into d square, that is 5.309 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter square. So we know that length of the pipe is equal to 1.5 meters, and G we are considering as 9.81 meter per second square. So for calculating friction factor, F is equal to 2G D HF divided by 4L V square. For first set of readings in the consideration of brass pipe, for low discharge, we have found that HF is equal to 0.126 meters in terms of water. The time required for 10 centimeter rise in water level was found out to be 183 seconds. So for this value, let us calculate Q actual, which is equal to A into R by T, where A is area of the collecting tank, which is 0.25 meter square, and 10 centimeter rise in water level, which is 0.1 meters, divided by 183 seconds. Let us calculate this. So it is coming somewhere around 1.366 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per second. So if I divide Q actual by area of the pipe, I'll get velocity of the water through the pipe. V is equal to Q actual by small a. So Q actual is 1.366 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Small a is area of the pipe, which is 5.309 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Let us calculate. 1.366 divided by 5.309. So this is coming somewhere around 0.257. So this is in meter per second because it is velocity of water in the pipe. So let us calculate friction factor. F is equal to 2 into 9.81 into diameter is 0.026 into HF is 0.126 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into V square, that is 0.257 square. So we are getting around friction factor of 0.162. So for the second set of readings, HF is found to be 0.1512 meters, and time required for filling 10 centimeter level in water collecting tank is found out to be 127 seconds. So in turn we shall let Q actual is equal to 0.25 is the area of the tank, 0.1 is the rise in water level divided by 127. So we'll get Q actual like this: 0.25 into 0.1 divided by 127. So Q actual is coming up to 1.968 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So V is equal to Q actual by A, 1.968 divided by 5.309. So V is coming somewhere up to 0.3707 meter per second. So friction factor is 2 into 9.81 into diameter is 0.026. HF is 0.1512 divided by 4 into 1.5 into V square. V square is 0.3707 square. So friction factor is coming around 0.0935. So for the third set of total head value, which is measured to be 0.2016, time was recorded to be 95 seconds for 10 centimeter rise in water level in the collecting tank. So let us calculate Q actual by A by T. 0.25 into 0.1 divided by 95 is coming up to 2.6315 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per second. So V will be Q actual by A, which is 2.6315 divided by 5.309. So V is coming somewhere around 4.4956 meter per second. So corresponding friction factor will be 2 into 9.81 into D is 0.026 into HF is 0.2016 whole thing divided by 4 into 1.5 into V square, that is 4.4956 square. So I'm getting 0.0697 or 0.0698. So these are the friction factor values for 1 inch brass pipe. We have got our results of friction factor for all the 3 pipes. So let us take average of friction factor that we have got for half inch stainless steel pipe first. 0.00036, 0.00445 plus 0.00542. So average friction factor is 0.00449 for half inch stainless steel pipe. Let us calculate average friction factor for 1 inch stainless steel pipe. Point 0.0324 plus 0.022 plus 0.0219 divided by 3. So we are getting average friction factor as 0.0254 for 1 inch stainless steel pipe. So let us calculate average friction factor for 1 inch brass pipe. So let us take average of these 3 values. 0.162 plus 0.0935 plus 0.0698 divided by 3. So average friction factor is coming as 0.1084 for 1 inch brass pipe. So our final result, if we just have a look at it, the average friction factor for a half inch stainless steel pipe is found to be 0.00449. Average friction factor for 1 inch stainless steel pipe is 0.0254. Average friction factor for 1 inch brass pipe is 0.1084. That means the friction factor is more in brass pipe compared to other 2 pipes, and when compared to half inch stainless steel pipe, the friction factor is more in 1 inch stainless steel pipe. Since friction factor is equal to 2GDHF by 4LV square, friction factor is directly proportional to the diameter. Bigger the diameter, so more can be the friction factor. Our result has used that the diameter of these pipes have played a role in amounting the friction factor for respective pipes. That means bigger the diameter has directly impacted the friction factor. So the friction factor can be utilized as an identity for analyzing the major losses in the respective pipes.